Hi, this is Philip from the International Teaching Jobs Guide, where you'll get all the information you need to get the right job teaching at an international school. There are many reasons one would want to teach internationally. It gives you a great opportunity to expand your horizons and learn about a new culture. International travel is one thing. But when you live abroad, work abroad, and interact on a daily basis with people from a foreign country, you get a really interesting perspective on the world, and you get a new perspective on yourself as well. There are great opportunities as well that come from teaching internationally. The pay is quite good compared to what you're probably used to. There's less competition for jobs as well. The market for international education is growing quite rapidly worldwide. Teaching abroad also gives you the opportunity to learn new skills. In schools around the world, things are often done quite differently from what you may be used to. And teaching abroad gives you the opportunity to learn a little bit more about teaching. Let's look at the situation at home, whether that's in North America, the UK, New Zealand, or Australia. Schools in all of these regions are cutting back. They're cutting back financially, and they're cutting back in the number of teacher jobs they're offering. Several years ago, we heard a lot about a teacher shortage. People from industries that were having financial difficulty were encouraged to get into teaching. There was a shortage of teachers, and teacher jobs are good, steady jobs that can lead to a career. But what was a teacher shortage has led to a teacher glut, and teachers are now in the weakest job market in years. For those that are working, teacher salaries haven't kept pace with inflation. And there are approximately 500,000 unemployed and underemployed teachers in the U.S. There's a great deal of competition for the jobs that are out there. To contrast this, let's look at the international market, where there is truly a buyer's market right now for teaching jobs. There are around 250,000 international school teachers employed worldwide. And because of the way things work at international schools, there are thousands of teachers hired every year. In general, when a teacher signs a contract, they go work at a school in a foreign country for 2 years. And teachers usually stay at these schools for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, sometimes longer. But after a relatively short period of time, teachers will generally leave the school. They'll return home, or they'll go work somewhere else, somewhere different internationally. So what this means is that a very large number of teaching positions become available every year. There's also a worldwide boom in international school construction, so more positions become available every year because of that. So recruiters are in a position where they have to hire a great number of teachers in a very short period of time, and the competition is increasing every year. So what this means is that there are great opportunities, not only for experienced teachers, not only for teachers who have already worked at international schools, but there are great opportunities for teachers who have never taught abroad. There are great opportunities for teachers with very little experience. There are even opportunities for teachers who are right out of their educational program. Every year, many inexperienced and teachers with no experience are hired by international schools. International schools also hire plenty of teachers with experience. Around the world right now, there's really an attitude that English equals success. Because of our globalized world, parents in non-English speaking countries really recognize that in order for their children to have advantages later in life, they need to be fluent in English. And what better way is there to become fluent in English than by studying in an immersion environment where English is the only language that's spoken? The opportunity that exists teaching at international schools is great. And it's definitely not an understatement to say that teachers around the world are living a dream. Teachers live in beautiful tropical locations, and teachers live in some of the most interesting cities in the world. And in many countries, a teacher's salary goes much further than it does in the English-speaking world. This means that very often, teachers are able to live quite well and save significant amounts of money. In addition to the good salaries, there are many perks that are offered by international schools. Housing is a very big one, and housing is usually included in contracts. This means that some schools provide their teachers with free apartments. Other schools provide their teachers with housing allowances that contribute a very significant part of the rent that teachers are expected to pay. Other perks that schools offer include airfare. Airfare to and from the country where you'll be working is generally paid for. Other allowances exist as well. Moving and shipping cost money, and schools help compensate for these expenses with settling in and shipping allowances. Often departure allowances are paid as well. Teachers who complete their contracts are then given money to ship their goods back home and close out their apartments. And because the salaries are so good, and living is very often less expensive than it is in the English-speaking world, international school teachers often have maids, personal chefs, and chauffeurs that they would not be able to afford in their own countries. The lifestyle that international school teachers lead is quite similar to a regular teaching lifestyle in that teachers enjoy summer breaks and frequent other breaks throughout the year. So what this means is that there's ample opportunity to return home and to explore the country you move to. It's not uncommon at all for teachers to return home twice a year and to travel extensively in the country and in the region that they live in. So what to do next? You can receive valuable information that explains what to do and what not to do by subscribing, by signing up, by entering your email address. You'll learn more about the international teaching opportunities that exist. And immediately, right now if you sign up, you'll receive my free report, 10 Tips for the International Teacher's Job Search. So please sign up now. Receive your free tips and get the information you need to get the right job at an international school. You may ask yourself, why am I doing this? And the answer is, when I was searching for my first job at an international school, there was so much that I didn't know. I didn't even know what questions to ask. there were many questions that I wish I had learned of earlier. Many questions that answered themselves, but answered themselves too late. There's truly a lot of information available right now about international school jobs. But when I was searching for a job, I always wondered, what do you need? What information do you have to read? What information should you ignore? What information should you be willing to pay for? I wished at that time there was a source for information that put everything together. And that's what I'm putting together for you. So please sign up, order it now, absolutely free. So enter your email address, subscribe, immediately receive your 10 free tips, and get the information you need to get the right job teaching at an international school.